Excellent.
You're all set.
Great. So we'll welcome everybody to Parks and Rec meeting for August 25th. We'll call the meeting to order at 6. What time am I looking at? 6:35-ish.
Yep.
If there's any conflict of interest or pecuniary interest, please disclose it at the appropriate time. We have no correspondence and no delegations tonight, so we'll move right to new business and hand it over to Teresa for her Parks and Rec update.
Thanks, Councillor White. As I'm joining the meeting by phone tonight, I would just ask that if there's any questions as I go along, that someone prompts me.
Sure.
Because I definitely won't see you tonight. Sorry about that, and thanks for accommodating me. To start out with COVID-19, back in, in the summer, Ontario released the 3-step plan to reopen, and we did move into step 3 on July 16th. We are past the 21 days, but as per announcement on August 17th, that despite coming close to hitting the targets to exit step 3, the province is halting any further reopening indefinitely. So based on that, we are working on the reopening plans for the arena for our planned October, with considering the fact that things may change between now and October. Based on meetings and document review, we will probably open under the same restrictions as we closed in the spring. So that's where we're at with that right now. And as with regards to any facility rentals, we are getting a lot of facility rentals, and I know this is jumping ahead a bit, but basically taking it a case-by-case basis, looking at what the activity is, and then judging on how many participants or attendees can be attending the event or function. And so far that's working well. And again, though, with renting, we're still looking at if there's still potential changes. So when we rent to a customer, it will say in their email correspondence that at this time it's step 3 and this is the documentation and what's required, but that could change between now and your rental. And any updates or changes will be communicated by email.
Good.
Yeah, so it's been busy with rentals, and thanks a lot to Maddie Esselman, because she's been a great help getting all the rentals booked in. Also, with regards to the arena, as per previous council meeting for sure, we are delayed due to materials being delayed, and so we're reopening October 12th, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving Monday, with ice making slated to start October 4th. And thanks to the Fair Board and Brooke Elvinston, they've accommodated Watford Community Arena ice users. And again, for those ice users, they received all of the information by email as to how to book ice for August, September, and into October. Our primary ice users received it first, and then it was sent out a mass email to like all of our users. And now all of the inquiries for that ice rental period gets an email to say, this is how you book your ice. So far, no glitches there. And again, thanks to the Fair Board and the Brooke Elvinston municipality for helping us out.
Teresa?
Yeah.
Teresa,
John?
you hear me? So is that 100% sure that you'll start the ice October 4th? And no matter what condition the arena is in? Like the ice could still be, right? Even though the front's not finished.
Yeah, so what we're looking at, and this will come up a little bit later in the report, is that we're looking at the front end, so the lobby area, and the 3 existing dressing rooms, and working on opening under partial capacity under the current fire safety system that's in place. So there would still be construction going, and we would complete the 3 dressing rooms, the new dressing rooms, and then at that time switch over to the new fire system. So the contractors, we're working with the building department and all the appropriate, people to get that done. So that's what we're looking at. And another thing that's been communicated is we're also going to be reopening under COVID, which provides some limitations for us. And so I've had discussions with East Lampton Minor Hockey Association, and for example, saying, for this in October, could you plan to have your games played in Brook Alvington, because they share ice, right? Like we share them as a user, so that they would play their games there and have practices in Watford. So really exhausting everything.
Good.
Great.
So ice will be ready for the 12th. Good.
Yep. That's what we're aiming for. And I haven't had any different indication from the contractor at this point.
So for Silver Stick, our Silver Stick first weekend is December 9th. Everything should be complete
Yes.
for the six rink or six rooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't see that, like, considering where our goal is, and there's been no indication otherwise from the contractors for October 12th. I'm pretty confident that we'll get that in. And keeping in mind two things: materials and also COVID, because those are our two biggest hurdles, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Great. Any other questions of Teresa on so far? Seeing none, go ahead, Teresa. Keep going.
So as mentioned, the halls were reopened with COVID restrictions in place, and we have had a significant increase in hall rentals, which has been really good. And all of the users are fantastic to get, all of the COVID information in and ensure that they're practicing COVID precautions. So in that sense, things are going really well, and we're booking into the future also. So that's been exciting because that really, with COVID, we haven't had a lot of opportunity for hall rental over the past year and a half. So this is a really good indicator that people are still interested and still booking. Not a lot of update on the parks in downtown, but I did consult Watford Warwick Horticultural Society, and Sunken Gardens is going to be profiled in the fall of 2021, Greensward Parks on Parade. And that was through the Ontario Parks Association. And as soon as I get more information on like when it's going to be released and when people can see all of the information online, I will certainly share that with everyone.
Great.
Okay. With regards to Watford and Warwick ballparks, so this comes from council. We had a council meeting on Monday night, so councillors on the committee will see very similar reports. So Watford ballpark, the new ball diamond on the south side between the diamond and the neighbors that sold the property to build the diamond, the netting, the pole system and netting is in place, and it's been in place pretty much for the summer, like from when the ball season could start back up. Warwick community, Warwick ball diamond is not completed. We ran into an issue with Hydro One, and in essence, they brought to our attention that in previous discussions, and they had indicated that we should not have put new fence there, as well as the foul poles, because they are too close to the hydro lines, because they're built under the hydro lines, basically. And so therefore, we definitely cannot put in a netting system there yet. As well, the diamond light that's on the east side is also in striking distance of the hydro wires. So it's basically become a big health and safety issue. We're working with Hydro One to rectify the situation, in that they're coming up with proposals, and it looks like right now the best proposal will be, or the best option will be, to bury the line They've staked it, and we're going to review it, and then they will then basically give us a plan and a costing on that. So in the interim, I did follow up from a council meeting. There was a suggestion that perhaps we should put protective netting on the Optimus ball diamond on the south side, so that balls don't go into play on the new ball diamond. So I had made a request, or I have made a request to the contractor to see if they would do that, and we're just working through that process right now. And if I remember correctly, Amanda, if you could correct me, I believe council was in favor of doing that on Monday night.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. The concession is operating and has been operating for probably, I would think, maybe 4 weeks now. Since Cornfest, so that's only about 3 weeks. Under modified services, so basically barbecuing outside, which you'd have to do anyways, and deep frying outdoors. I didn't realize this, but the concessionaires had previously had an extension cord made so that they could take their deep fryers to other events. So they have a tent out there, and they're able to do that, and everything else is set up. We're just working with the concessionaires on getting all of their electrical requirements. We have the items, so we just need the detail because it's part of the bigger requirement of electrical of that entire area of the building. The permit's been submitted. The hood has been built. Like, all of those pieces are done. So we're just working forward on that. Okay. The library and the Watford Museum, again, we're still, sorry, was there a question?
Sorry, Martina had a question. Sorry, Teresa.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Today I was at of all places, the gas station in Watford, and there was a petition-like document there that was from a person who lives in Watford who requested about a month ago handrails on the bleachers. And so that person, according to the document, that person hasn't gotten a response from Parks and Rec. And they're looking for, so basically they have some accessibility issues and need handrails to get up and down the bleachers. So I was just wondering if there's some action on that or what's happening there.
It was talked about at council on Monday night, and
sorry, go ahead, Councillor White.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, and so we are moving forward, looking at what we can do to add those handrails back because to them is my understanding. So, yep.
And I can just add a little bit more because I have talked to one individual about handrails, and I did explain that they are like the bleachers. Like I wasn't here when they were like purchased, but they are made that way. And I'm still looking into it more because they do fold. So I'm trying to source the original contractor, or where we purchased the bleachers, and as well looking at the building code. But to modify the existing bleachers, I don't think we can do that. And I had expressed that, but I'm still looking into it.
Is it? Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's something that can be added and removed so they can fold.
I know in Alvinston, I think they bolted, they could bolt something down the sides, like a rail down both sides, and then they remove them again. You
For
can remove.
storage in the winter. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm definitely looking into that.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's another individual, but I have spoken to one individual.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I had just seen it today, but it was a little concerning to me because on the paper it said, like, it didn't say the date it was posted. It was looking for some signatures, but it had said that the inquiry was in July. So, it was concerning to me that it was taking that long, even just for a response. So I just wanted to check in and see what was happening.
We only meet a couple times in the summer, so it was to the first meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that. I just mean, like, just a phone call back to say we got your question, we're taking it to council or whatever, goes a long way for community members to make sure that they're feeling heard.
Oh, absolutely, Martina. I don't, like I said, I can't comment on the individual, but I spoke directly with an individual.
Mhm.
And also our lead hand has spoken with the same individual. So, and we haven't lost sight of the item, not at all. But we are still looking into it.
That just in terms of timeline, following up on Martina's comments, did the inquiry come in some time ago and we recently connected with that individual, or was it a recent inquiry that had a recent response, or was there a timeline?
It was. I'd have to look it up. It was probably within the last few weeks. Oh, I know what. Yeah, it was in the last corn. It was probably about a week or so after Corn Fest, because I spoke with the individual directly. They called me, so
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same individual.
Okay.
But I'll certainly follow up with that individual again, and that's what I'd indicated, that when I had more information, that I would definitely follow up again.
Okay. Thanks.
Sounds
I
good.
just agree
Thank
with
you.
Martina's sentiments about timeline.
Yep.
Yeah, no, totally.
Is there?
Can I
Wayne?
proceed?
Oh yeah, keep going. Yep, sorry. Yep.
Okay, sorry.
No, Wayne had a
Nope.
question.
Wayne had his question. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry to, I'm wondering if we should contact the county and find out what the building code is. We might need to throw a 2x4 or two up there temporarily
Yeah.
until we get it fixed. We can't leave that waiting for somebody to get back to us. I think we need to find out immediately what the building code says and strap a couple 2x4s on it like they do in construction.
Yeah. Do something that'll work, and then maybe get.
And then do it properly, but I'm really uncomfortable seeing them like they are when we've been told about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So can you get back to us on that, Teresa, even at council?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and
That'd
I've
be
already spoken.
And then we'll bring it back
an
to Parks and Rec once we know. To the
Yeah,
next
perfect.
meeting. That'd be great.
I have already spoken with an architect engineer and referenced the building code, and I am following up on that.
Okay, perfect. Oh,
Okay.
Amanda, yes.
I have one maybe add in that might be helpful and maybe isn't. I don't know. I do remember at the time of purchase. So when we first purchased these bleachers, I remember there being some discussion on the handrails. And I don't know, Martina and John, if you were on the committee at the time the first versions were purchased. When I think back, I think we had at that time some comments on accessibility as well. But the internal review was to add on additional parts to an already engineered and certified piece of equipment was not recommended by the manufacturer. So, and then moving forward, we kept that same standard, and that's how the bleacher standard. The idea was to have the same bleachers at multiple locations because we had those older ones. And if I recall correctly, I don't think the older ones had handrail either. The wood ones that we used to have on site. So I think it was replicating the existing level, like the existing kind of style, except for that these were portable. That's just based on my memory. We'll still do all the investigation that Parks and Rec Committee asked for. It occurred to me.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah.
And we can move forward?
Yeah, we can go forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Again, we're continuing to review the engineer's assessment, and part of what we needed to do was get some measurements done to send them back to the structural engineer, and we do have those done, and I have indicated, I saw him today, that those will be coming back to him soon. And then the architect engineers will provide us with the specifications to go out for quote or tender as to what work needs to be done. So I'm excited to get that stuff moving forward also.
Great.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm in the right. Yep. With regards to the East Lambton Community Complex update. So I just wanted to stress to people, because because it's a construction zone, nobody is allowed in the arena. Even staff, we have to wear hard hats and safety boots when they're working. And as of next week, the whole place becomes a construction zone, even the upstairs. Well, with the exception of my office, but to and from my office is the same requirements. So we really are focusing on the interior, the renovations of the arena. And so when we're looking at that, 90% of the arena demo has been completed. The parts that remain include new door and window frames. The northeast footings and foundations, so for all the new arena dress rooms, have been completed. Electrical's roughed in is continuing. That's throughout. The interior arena underground plumbing is complete. The foundation excavation and backfill is continuing. The YMCA area is complete. And if you look at the photo in your report, that primary area to the left of you can see it looks like a walkway. So that area that in the left, that's the YMCA area. Interior masonry work has commenced, and it's kind of neat now because people can't see it, but the walls are going in, and now you are starting to see the distinct areas. And with the plumbing in, you can see where the men's and women's washrooms are, and so that's all coming together. Underground plumbing in the addition continues. And again, we just had a site meeting a week ago. There are no changes to substantial completion. And substantial completion is that we can occupy. So those are still the dates that we're working towards. So October for the arena renovations and June 2022 for the new addition. And then I should have also noted the demolition of Centennial Hall will follow when the new addition is done, open and operational. Then the demolition will take place of Centennial Hall to make way for the new parking lot.
Good. Any questions on that? No. Continue on, Teresa. I don't see any. So.
Okay, thank you. Parks and Recreation, Tourism and Culture Master Plan Development is right on schedule. The CAO clerk and myself met with Monteith Brown, the consultants that were hired to draft the master plan on August 13th. We had sent them feedback previous to that because we had received a draft first, sent them feedback, and then it was sent back to us and we met. There's more feedback, and now they've tweaked it. They've sent it back to us for review, and we're doing that process right now. And so when you're looking at the timeline, we're looking early September for a 2-week period for the draft master plan. It'll be provided to public for comments. Council and Parks and Recreation will get that plan before it goes to public. And the September public comments will be reviewed by the consultant. And then it says here an October council meeting, but for those on council, we'll note that on Monday night, it's been confirmed that September 30th, a council meeting has been added for Monteith Brown to come and do the presentation of the draft plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Perfect.
Or I guess at that time, Amanda, sorry?
Yes, Teresa, I just wanted to add to that comment. You're right, that special meeting will be scheduled for September 30th at 6 p.m. And to our Parks and Recreation members, I also would like to invite you to attend that if you're available. If not, of course, it will be on YouTube, but you're welcome to attend that also. And public notice will be provided in advance of the meeting.
Good.
Thanks, Teresa.
Thanks, Amanda, for putting that. With regards to staff, Council had approved one full-time position for administration in Parks and Recreation. The position title is Parks and Recreation and Facilities Assistant. The recruitment, selection of interview candidates, interviews have been completed. A candidate has been selected and we're currently in the reference check process. And we anticipate a start in or around September 7th. We are working on office space also at the arena, but we think we have a plan to get us going. So that's really exciting for me, especially. And programs and events, exciting for me.
Sorry, Teresa.
So,
Yep.
Yep.
John had a question, I think, on
Yeah,
this
go ahead.
staffing update.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I'm not sure if that's Martina and I's business or not, but is that added to like Maddie's position and this is a full-time position above Maddie's position or added? Like, is that, so we have two assistants? Then we'll have two
No.
assistants or not? No? Okay.
I'll
Can I
let
do
Amanda
that one,
explain that.
Teresa? Yeah, okay, so council approved a new position being budgeted for administrative services to the township. It is a new position this year. We completed an internal reorganization to separate all of the Parks and Recreation administrative duties that were formally completed by our township administrative assistant, which is filled by Maddie.
Yeah.
So that all Parks and Recreation administration will be completed on site by this new position, and that other position that's currently filled by Maddie has been filled with other tasks as per an internal reorganization. So one person will be the key contact for all Parks and Recreation administration who will work from the arena.
Okay. Thank you. I just had some community members asking about that. Had that question.
Go ahead, Teresa.
Thank you. As we move on to program and events, so I was excited that although it was a modified Corn Fest event, they were able to hold something August 6th to 8th. The ball tournament was all 3 days. The afternoon bar and concession was all 3 days. The Horticulture Society Scarecrow Contest was the Friday night. Free hot dogs and corn were handed out August 7th on the Saturday from 12 to 7, but I left about 2 or 3. So it wasn't until they ran out. So I'm not sure if they had enough yet. And there was a classic car tour on the Sunday. And by all accounts, the committee did a great job. There were a lot of things to consider with regards to COVID. And yeah, they did an excellent job and it was a fun event. So I look forward to being a part of the full event next year, which I believe is their 40th anniversary of Corn Fest. So hopefully we'll be back to no restrictions or very limited restrictions to be able to celebrate the 40th anniversary.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions on anything at all? Seeing none. Is there anything, do you need the minutes moved or just for review? Okay. Is there any other new business that needs to be brought to the meeting tonight? And I see none.
So
Can I have a mover to adjourn the meeting? And I got Martina first and John second, so that would be great. And thank you all, and we'll adjourn the meeting.